that being in the episode. What is up though, guys? So as you may have heard, the other Lopez brother, yeah, I forgot his name, but he too has now been a confirmed victim of sleeping with underage girls. His brother got a little bit of a head start, but this other guy caught up. Andre, that's his name. Right, no, it's not. But a couple days ago, actually probably a little more than a week ago, a video was released that apparently showed the mother of the aforementioned girl talking with Thing One about what the hell he just did. Before I show you any of that though, I thought I'd take you guys on a trip down Lopez Lane and show you how some past Lopez's fared in our society. Spoilers, none of them have committed any sex crimes. Huh? He was a murderer? How many? 110 girls? And also, just because I don't have time to go over every Mexican who scored a goal that's named Lopez, we're just going to be sticking with the top 6. I know your Uncle Juan was a lead engineer at the Mexican Space Academy, but y'all haven't made it to the moon for a reason. And don't worry, I will also be going over Thing 2 because just like Gemini, he thinks he did nothing wrong. And it's like, yeah, so did Hitler. But just sit back, relax, and let me show you some people who aren't disgracing the good Lopez name one 14-year-old at a time. Except for that guy who killed 110. But first up, we got Nancy Marie Lopez, who's a retired professional golfer and has won over 40 LPGA Tour events, including 3 major championships. It's almost like being attracted to minors isn't the only thing a Lopez can do. Who would have thought? She also finished top 10 in over 20 events, some of those against Asians. And you know how Asians are at golf. Good. But I mean, just look at her swing.
It's a pitching wedge from 109 yards. Gotcha. Big drive. Yep. Need to knock it tight right here, Nancy. Moving it right of the hole. She can kick left. Doesn't though, but it's a good shot.
I have no idea what just happened, but it wasn't illegal, and I appreciate that, Nancy. Please accept your spot in the Lopez Hall of Fame, and may you stay there till the end of time. Alright, next up we got Francisco Solano Lopez. I know he has 2 last names, but what true Mexican doesn't? But what he's known for is being the president of Uruguay. Wait, no, Paraguay. One of those gay countries. But he was known for being a fierce leader in the Paraguayan War. Oh, so I guess it was Paraguay. This list wouldn't be fair though if I didn't bring up the negatives. And let me just say that this man's actions inevitably caused hundreds, if not thousands of people to lose their lives. And even then, he's still ranked higher than these little Jared Fogels. So that's to tell you how bad these two actually are. But basically what Francisco did was lead his troops into an unwinnable war. And because of that, he now has half of Paraguay being like, well, yeah, that was kind of badass. And the other half is like, no, it wasn't. They do have this wicked picture of what his death would have looked like, and it's like, no wonder this dude lost. He brought swords to a gunfight. My dude didn't even make it to the water before they ended his journey. But nonetheless, that journey was a noble one. And for that, you earned your spot in the luxurious Lopez Hall of Fame I made on Photoshop. Congratulations. Next up, we got Jose Guillermo Abel Lopez Portillo y Panchero. Sounds like the menu item at a Mexican restaurant. But here we have another president, this time of Mexico. Don't know if that's any better. But hey, he does have a picture with the HNIC Jimmy Carter. And he's been knighted 3 different times, once in Sweden. What the hell is a Mexican doing in Sweden that ends up getting him knighted? Not sleeping with a 14-year-old, that's what. And for your courageous commitment to suppress that urge you've never had, you have secured your place in the Lopez Hall of Fame, my good sir. Okay, so now we're starting to get to the people who y'all are actually familiar with. Hopefully. But the next Lopez we have on our list loves 2 things. His Lamborghini that he loves driving through the Hollywood Hills, and
knowledge. In fact,
I'm not sure what else he's known for. His Wikipedia, holy shit, $60 million? Where can I get some of that knowledge? Please don't tell me I have to buy a bookshelf because I only got our toys, you feel me? There's no books on here. Maybe. Nope, yeah, no, there's no books. Oh, wait. Do got a couple of yearbooks. What is it? The oldest one being from 2002, 2003. Look at that. Didn't even have color print back then, buddy. Black and white. I'm not that old, guys. But hey, 60 million in 5 years? Why wouldn't this man have a spot in the Lopez Hall of Fame?
Knowledge.
Alright, so now we're moving on to one of the sexiest men to ever grace the role of Colonel Sanders. Mario, the St. Luigi's brother, Lopez. Now, some of you might know him from his days on Saved by the Bell, and some of you might know him from his days on America's Best Dance Crew. You know what he isn't known for, though? Sleeping with a 14-year-old, this man has had a luxurious career from TVs to movies to even being named the sexiest man alive. Mario cannot be stopped. Unless you're Bowser. But the reason Mario is third is because I feel like his looks have gotten him pretty far. I mean, do y'all even remember this guy's name from Saved by the Bell? I only know this guy as the big nose guy from Saved by the Bell. I know Mario. I've never even watched Saved by the Bell either. But since Mario's nose is flawlessly perfect, and his last name is Lopez, he secured his spot in the Hall of Fame. Now guys, we got my personal favorite Lopez. If you've ever fallen asleep watching Nickelodeon, then you've probably waken up in the middle of the night to this sound. That's right, it's George Lopez. Now obviously you guys know him from his stand-up and TV show, but some of you may have forgotten the role he had in Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Well.
Or my personal favorite, the movie he did right after that, Balls of Fury.
No mercy, Randy.
He's also done Rio, The Smurfs, had his own talk show. He's basically done everything but sleep with a 14-year-old. He was also nominated for 3 Grammys and has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The day the Lopez brothers get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame is the day they lower the age of consent down to 12. But you're not them, George, and you never will be. And thus, you secured your spot in the Hall of Fame, my hilarious friend. And now, for the most famous Lopez on our list. Some of you might have thought it was George, but if you really think about it, Jenny from the Block has been the all-time great. Not only has she done all of what George has done, minus the stand-up, but she's added a whole music career on top of that. And I mean, how could you not put this at number 1?
I met so many men, and it's like they're all the same.
You know what happened to Ja Rule after making that song? Firefest. You know what J-Lo was doing? Making songs with Drake, releasing albums, going on tour, and I swear to God, not age a single day. But I mean, her career speaks for itself. You don't get your net worth to almost $500 million without being the greatest Lopez there is. In other words, you've obviously secured your spot in the Hall. Alright, so now that we're done with the Hall of Fame, let's move on to a little place I like to call the Hall of Infamy. Population 2. So we'll start off with the younger one just because his situation is a bit more older, kind of like how the girl should have been. God damn, how many is that? Like 100 little girl jokes? Let's go for 200. But basically what Tony did was get some 15-year-old girl to send him no-no pictures, or as Teen Vogue likes to put it, lured, persuaded, coerced, and groomed them. The classic quadruple threat. He also had sex with them because he's a man who likes to finish what he started. And trust me, Tony, when I say we would have understood. He also wrote out this half-ass apology straight out the Notes app like any great apology is. I like how he starts out with, disappointed in myself for them. So you're disappointed in them? For what? Not keeping a secret? I'm still new to entertainment LA scene. Don't care, didn't ask, plus you're white.
Don't care, didn't ask, plus you're white.
He couldn't even bother to check his grammar before posting this. If he would have added that the right after 2, 20% of this situation gone. But that frivolous mistake only added 5%. Now you're at 105%. That's not good. He then says, once I found out how old she was after I already had sex with her, I immediately stopped. And it's like, hey, ugly. The damage is already done. You can't just be like, don't worry guys, I already stopped. There's no need to involve authorities or anything like that. We're all good now. I stopped immediately after I already did it. There are more videos that go into more detail about what he did, or you can just Google it, or just go to his TikTok and read the comments. That's always a fun thing to do. You know what's not fun? Going in the Hall of Infamy. And now for our final Lopez, the saying, save the best for last, doesn't apply here. And to be honest, I didn't think this guy would be in this situation, and neither did his fans. I mean, after that thing when Tony went down, they're like, well, at least we got the better brother. Well, now you got nothing. Are you happy? If you guys didn't know, other guy over here followed in his brother's footsteps, but took it one step further and slept with a girl 1 year younger. He also got her drunk for some bonus points. And remember that video I was talking about in the beginning? Oh, well, here it is.
She's 14. And you are how old?
23.
Yeah. You know what can happen to you?
I do.
You can end up in jail.
I do realize that.
We need to talk in person. And I'm bringing my daughter with me.
Okay.
And my sister. And we need to figure this out.
Okay. I'm totally okay with that.
When can we meet?
Whenever it's possible.
today.
And what makes this even more hilarious is that this happened inside the hype house and everyone is still shocked about what happened. And all I could say is, I told you so. You see this video right here? Wherever the fuck I put it. But this video right here could be considered Exhibit A in the downward spiral that is the hype house. In this video, I went over Daisy's hype house vlog and pointed out a couple things that stood out to me. One of them being that I found a vape just on the table for anyone to grab, and judging by Charlie's vaping videos, that's exactly what it was. But I also pointed out that there's active underage drinking going on in that house as shown by this open bottle of Jack Daniels in a room filled with no one older than the age of 20. And then because I'm just an asshole like that, I even showed Charlie, who apparently looks to be a little tipsy.
This is Charlie. Hi, I'm drinking Baja Blast, not doing Renegade Dance, which is hard to find, but I love you.
And it's like, you see, that's what you get for not listening to me. I told you there was underage drinking going on, and you're like, nah, let them have fun, they're just kids. Well, now look. That fun has turned into a couple of sex crimes and 2 shit stains on the Lopez name. And if y'all want even more proof, just go to those TikTok room accounts on Instagram and they'll show you how everyone in the hype house unfollowed them and how his girlfriend Hannah took away all their pictures of them posted together. And it's like, that's more than enough for me. I don't have a girlfriend, but if I slept with a 14-year-old girl, I still wouldn't have one. But yeah, guys, that's it. I didn't even want to add in an edit of me putting in thing 2 in the Hall of Infamy just because he did it. Who cares? Putting him in there would only give him something to celebrate about. Of course, they are denying everything that happened, or at least Tony did. I don't know about the other guy. I think he's guilty as charged, and so should everyone who was in the hype house. I mean, how are you gonna let a 14-year-old inside the hype house sleep with one of your members and then get drunk? Not necessarily in that order. It's like maybe having a house full of complete idiots that didn't graduate high school wasn't such a good idea. The collective knowledge between everyone in that house barely surpasses mine. And I mean barely. It is funny though that both brothers are in trouble for basically the same thing. Can you imagine if it was the same girl? They pull an R. Kelly and Usher on us? We've been messing with the same girls. But if there ever was somebody who we should just hit that reset button on, it'd be that guy who invented peanut M&Ms and the Lopez brothers. But again, guys, that's it. I was asked to give a shout out to Pink Panther, Jerks, aka Travis Scott action figure, and that's it, Pink Panther and Jerks. If I forgot you, just hit me with a DM and say, hey ugly, you forgot my shout out, and I'll try not to cry.